Okay, we're gonna go catch a raccoon. Oh, spit right out here. Alright, so here's what happened. I had a chicken. Oh, thanks for jumping on me, Ziggy. I had a chicken that was desperate to hatch out some eggs, so I moved her out of the main coop and into a back coop where she could have a little bit of privacy. And about 2 weeks into sitting on those eggs, she got predated and the eggs got eaten. I thought initially it must have been a weasel, so I set a couple of rat traps, I baited them, and I set up my game camera, and it was not a weasel. So you can see here that there's a couple of raccoons that have found their way into the barn and killed a chicken, and they'll probably kill more if they get a chance. So we're going to use something a little bigger than a rat trap, and we're going to catch these raccoons. Right, ding dong? Oh, watch your step then. Hey, you think you're going to be helpful? Or are you just trying to eat my camera? Okay, this is the back coop. And you can see that there's a gap up by the rafters there, which is possibly where the raccoons got in, although there are other spaces where they can squeeze in and out. And what I'm setting up are 2 live traps. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, you'll catch 2 raccoons. I'm just going to bait them. I have some sardines, and these are pretty much like the handiest trap you can buy. You don't need a license for these. Kind of a humane way to trap and relocate or trap and euthanize pest animals. They protect a lot of farm animals, these live traps. So the trick is to get this bait in there without tipping it all over the place. There. Yeah, so when the raccoon goes in there and steps on this trigger plate, then the door shuts behind him. And got a spy point game camera, so all I'm doing with this is I'm going to shove it up in the rafters here, pointing down from the ceiling, like so. And we'll check back in and see what happens. This is always set up here, a weasel box trap with a rat trap, and then I put a, you get your nose out of there, ding dong. I put a little mouse trap in the back too, so that's a hot tip for you. If you're getting things smaller than chipmunks and mice and they're not triggering the rat trap, then you'll catch them at the back in the smaller trap. Time to check on these traps. This isn't a raccoon, but it's something furry. First one of these little woolly bear caterpillars that I've seen so far this year. That's pretty cool. And I'll show you another cool thing. We call this magic time. So magic time is in the spring when you get a crust on the snow that supports your weight. This happens way more when you're not so heavy, but there's about maybe not quite 3 feet of snow here right now, but quite a bit. And just walk on top. No snowshoes required. Everything's frozen up, even though there's a pile of snow. Right, so there's a pontoon boat on a trailer. Sawmill. Like the The runners are just buried. Most of the trailer's below the snow level. There's a sea can, right, partially buried, so there's a lot of snow out here. But for just a couple hours today, until it warms up too much, kind of just walk around anywhere you want to go. Maybe put on the cross-country skis and slide around a little bit. But first we got to deal with this raccoon situation. So hopefully there are 2 raccoons in the 2 traps, and that is the end of the raccoon problem. Normally I have my other best predator defense system set up, which is an electric fence, an electric poultry netting. And because that goes almost all the way around the barn, predators can't get even to the barn, usually. It's very, very effective. And way more affordable and available than it used to be. It used to be kind of hard to find that poultry netting. It used to be pretty pricey, but there's lots of people in the market now making it. I've even seen it in the livestock aisle at, or the farm aisle at Princess Auto. They carry a bunch of that kind of stuff. Oh, son of a gun. No raccoons in the traps. I was really hoping that they would both be in here. Now my sardines aren't touched. They're just frozen because it went down to -10 last night. You get out here. I don't want to catch a Ziggy in a trap. So, the raccoon saga continues. Maybe they've just moved on. Maybe they knew what was going to happen to them if they came back, or maybe a neighbor got them. But I'm going to leave these traps run for a couple more days, and I might also come out tonight with a flashlight and a 22 and just have a snoop around and see if I can spot them. We'll go check on the chickens. They need their morning food. So at -10 degrees Celsius, might have been a little too cold for those raccoons to be active at night anyway. So I was thinking about it. I'm going to let that trap run through a few of the next warm days. Or maybe just leave them set up right until I get the chickens put out on pasture, which will be, well, maybe 2 weeks from now. All of our snow should be gone. There's a lot of it, but maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. Get them out, get that electric netting set up, lower my feed bills because they'll be on outdoor pasture. That was a robin. I only just started hearing them this week. A robin, American robin calling. So some of our spring birds are back too. 'Tis the season. Hey. Day two with the traps. Hey? Well, happy Easter, everybody. It's day 2 with those live traps. Let's go see if those raccoons came back for some Easter eggs. Or the sardines. There's one little early arrival sparrow, and he keeps spending all of his time, or her time, in this little patch of grass, which is like the only patch of grass around, because we still have so much snow. I'm gonna try and get a closer look at it and see what kind of sparrow it is. There's a blue jay. They're always here. Flock of grosbeaks. They're usually here for putting birdseed out, but I haven't put birdseed out in a month, so I don't know why they're still hanging around. Come on out of there. Hey, come on. Quit eating chicken poops. Ziggy, come. Come on. Ugh, chicken poops. Well, it only took 2 days. Got them both. So it really paid off to have 2 traps handy. I'll give you a closer look at those traps after. You can get them, depending on where you are. Hardware stores carry them, or you might have to go to a trap supplier like a Cabela's Bass Pro. I've seen these live traps. One brand of them, you can get them at Princess Auto. They come in different kind of gauges of robustness, I would say. So if you're using them regularly, you probably want to pick one of the heavier duty ones. Stands up to a little more ferocious raccooning. Hopefully both of those traps held up. They've each been through a few raccoons. I'm gonna euthanize them, and then I guess we're gonna catch and cook the raccoon that caught and ate the chicken. It's the circle of life. Get out of there. This light's not great in here. Anyways, flash forward. Fast forward, I skinned out this raccoon, and I have a wire stretcher, so I'm going to stretch it out and hopefully do a good enough job that I can send that hide in for keep my license active. I'm not really a big chopper, but I like to have a chopping license, which gives me permission to own traps in Ontario and trap on land that I have, or that I have permission to trap on. And what are we doing here? I want to take off this back foot. I've already skinned this guy, gutted this guy. Did the best job I could. I'm not great at skinning, but it's one of those things that where practice makes perfect, so the more you do it, the better you get. Where's the joint in here? Sometimes these things are the situation where you just want to whack them off with an axe. And this is definitely a situation where I should be working in better light. Maybe I'll bring that over here. So, skinned out raccoon in my barn here, and I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just working around this joint to take off the foot, the back foot that it was hanging by. Now, a lot of people will say that you have to dig out glands. There's a whole bunch of glands in the hind legs, and I've done it and I've not done it, and to my palate there wasn't a difference. Now I don't know if that's because it was a spring raccoon or a fall raccoon, or what the difference might have been, but if you want to, and don't get squeamish now, you can get into the folds in the back of that hind quarter and look for little white nodules. Those are the glands. Check also under the front armpits. You've probably seen the Wooded Beardsman and I in other videos digging through and finding those little glands and taking them out. So I'm going to have a little dig through. I'm not going to film that, but I'm going to dig through and check on them. And then all we're going to do with this raccoon is, because it fits in the roasting pan, think I'm going to throw some potatoes and carrots and onions in there. Maybe a splash of stock. I have some venison stock. I have some turkey stock from Easter. And we're going to roast it. Well, that's been in the oven for about 8 hours at 200 degrees. And I think the vegetables are pretty cooked. I checked the internal temperature, it's up around 180 degrees, so that's all finished. And it's almost time for a little taste test. There it is, garlic bread, raccoon, roast vegetables. I cut a little piece for you.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you think?
It's killer.
Killer?
All
Alright.
I like it.
Yep. You said it tasted like...
Yeah, similar.
Yep.
I'll give it a go.
Sure.
A mix of beef and chicken.
You thought it was going to have like some crazy flavor profile or
I
something?
thought it was going to be identifiable as something it's not unique.
Yeah.
It tastes like maybe goose, which I've only had once.
Oh, yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah. Yeah, I always think of it as like greasy chicken pork, like kind of a cross.
I feel like that was the one and only piece I'm going to want, but no, I can say I've had
Yep.
it. You sure you don't want any?
Actually, that actually doesn't taste bad. Let me cut you a little piece.
No.
It doesn't taste bad or it tastes good?
It doesn't taste bad.
That was killer.
There we go.
No, I feel like she thinks.